Here's something you probably know if you're a neurotypical person and you're now aware that you're in a neurodiverse ASD marriage. And something you probably don't know if you're a neurotypical person who's never been in a neurodiverse ASD marriage. What this thing is that neurotypical people need reciprocal facial communication, reciprocal body communication, reciprocal smiles in order to feel whole physically, in order to have a sense of self. It's hard to explain, but what occurs, and if you're a neurotypical person in a neurodiverse marriage, this is going to make a lot of sense to you, and if you're not, it probably won't. But what occurs is if the primary person that you've been in an intimate relationship for a very long period of time isn't responding to your facial expressions and your body gestures in a way that indicates that they are receiving from your smiles what you mean by your smiles, and they are giving you smiles back that make sense to you the way your mind sees it, giving you smiles back that your mind is computing in a neurotypical way, that it's like there's this wall between you and your most intimate partner. And that wall, over time, leads to a situation in which the neurotypical partner gets very, very shaky and is lacking in intimate reciprocal communication that are a very, very critical part of that person's well-being. And of course, when you're in a marriage, you're committed to that person. This is likely the only adult in your life with whom you're expected socially to be sharing the most intimate kinds of reciprocal communication. Yet in that intimate communication, and I'm talking whether it be emotional or sexual or verbal, in that communication, that wall is always there. And the lack of the reciprocity, the lack of the neurotypical reciprocity that a neurotypical person needs, and I would assume biologically, this is part of who we are physically, of who a neurotypical person is physically, that lack of that reciprocity that the neurotypical partner needs has an extreme effect on that person over time. To the extent that I've heard so many stories of them just losing their capacity to feel like a whole human being because they haven't gotten that feedback from the environment that neurotypical people, who are almost always associating with other neurotypical people, just expect and don't necessarily even appreciate because they don't know, because it's not missing. It's something that's always there. But that's not how it is for a neurotypical person in a neurodiverse marriage.